Hey everybody, thanks for coming to UPROAR Live at Third Man Records Cast Quarter. Can we give it up for them? Thank you guys so much. Really appreciate you. It's our pleasure to jump back into our next season of Uproar with this event. Whenever you find folks that care about causes in the world that are close to your heart as well, and you can put some artists and activists behind a little gathering that brings attention and maybe mobilizes some folks to do some work on that, it just kind of that's the best part of my day, so I really appreciate you all coming along with us. If you're watching online, you'll have ample opportunity to make some connections with our guest and the amazing organization that she works with, Julia Gibbons. Julia, welcome.
Thank you so much for having me. I'm pleasure to be here.
And Julia works with Freedom House Detroit, who's been doing some amazing work for the refugee community, and she'll tell you more about that. You can find their information at freedomhousedetroit.org. We encourage everybody to go and check out their website and all the amazing things they're doing, and you'll see a QR code where people can get connected with that right away if you're looking at this online, so thanks. Julia, we've got a couple questions for you to tell us a little bit about what it is that Freedom House does, and we'd love to hear a little bit about what does Freedom House do, and the second part of the question is a little bit in our language. So Motor City Wesley is a sponsor and co-producer of goodness with students all across Detroit and Metro Detroit. And so when we ask the question, how does Freedom House Detroit create goodness in the world, it's how are you doing conspiracies with other people to make the world a better place?
Yeah, of course. I would love to help answer that question for you. So Freedom House Detroit is Michigan's only full-service provider for victims of persecution who are fleeing and seeking humanitarian protection in the U.S. or in Canada. For 40 years now, Freedom House Detroit has provided refugees with access to social services, which includes medical and mental health care. We provide them with housing and access to their basic needs. These are things that you use every day. Think soap, toothpaste, laundry detergent. And we also provide them with legal support as they move through the vigorous legal process of claiming protection in the U.S. Over 120 people each year receive these services, and moreover, Freedom House Detroit is a place of refuge for them. For many, this is their first home when they come to the U.S., and it connects them with a community of people with similar experiences.
One of the things that we know about movements is that it takes people that are passionate about part of that movement. I wonder if you could tell us a little bit about, I'm going to skip one. Are you ready?
Okay,
I'm skipping one.
Yeah, that's
all
fine.
right. I'm wondering about how you got connected with Freedom House Detroit.
Yeah, so my family has supported Freedom House Detroit for some time now. We are local to the Metro Detroit area, and we make a really active effort to get to know the work that nonprofits are doing in our community. I reached out a few years ago about volunteering, but fate really brought me back to the organization when my former company went on hiatus. I've been working in community development and community outreach for the last 6 years, and so when the community engagement coordinator position opened up, it was just natural for me to apply. For my final interview, I'd like to share that I was brought on site and exposed to the really unique work environment for the first time. I was surrounded by the aromas of people cooking dishes from across the world in our community kitchen, and the echoes of people talking and having conversations with each other in every corner in so many different languages, some of them I couldn't even recognize. I am really proud that I was awarded this position, and I hope I'll work here for a little while now.
Well, thanks for all the work you do and help connecting with the broader community. I mean, you get to rope a bunch of people into amazing work.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
Sounds like a pretty good job.
Yeah, we're really proud of the work that we do with other members in the community and people who have really similar missions to us at supporting this population.
Whenever we're talking with folks about what's going on in the world, what kinds of things can artists and activists get involved with, a little bit of that is about a learning curve. Sometimes it is helping people understand that there even is this topic of conversation or these issues that could be worked on. What are the things that you need people to understand about refugee and migration realities across the world, global issues. What do people need to know to understand the work that you do here in Detroit through Freedom House?
So a really important background is that in many regions of the world, people experience persecution. Persecution is harm inflicted by the government or groups that the government cannot or will not control due to an individual's race, their religion, their nationality, political opinion, and membership in a particular social group. Think of this as the LGBTQ plus community. So that seems like a lot. It's a really heavy definition, but I share that because it's specifically defined by US case law. And our clients, they need to know these terms as they move through the legal process to secure a safe future for themselves. I do want to give an example of one of the experiences our clients may face. Yeah. In Uganda, where homosexuality has been deemed criminalized and an unnatural offense and an indecent practice, LGBTQ plus individuals have been targeted, they've been abused, and they've been arrested. To escape from this form of persecution, people are forced to flee their homes. Many leave really quickly and in secret, and they leave knowing that they may never see their friends or their family ever again.
Wow. Well, we know that from the most kind of tragic and heavy stories to some real amazing celebratory stories happen in and around the community that is Freedom House. Our new favorite Chopped winner, right, is Hamisi Mamba from Detroit's own Baobab Fair, and we would give a little shout out to him. And I was wondering if you could tell us any more about stories like his.
Yeah, of course. I just want to acknowledge first that we are really proud to have played the role that we did in Mamba and Nadia's success story. You'll find the beginnings of their story. I brought a booklet along with me. They're the second to last story in there. And if you Google Mamba and Nadia, you can really quickly find their story. They've been very open about it. But because their story is so well known, I'd really like to tell you about another story of somebody that's walked through our doors that I'll call Alexis. Alexis grew up an academic. She was young, and at the age of 10 years old, she started boarding school. She spent most of her time at school, spending maybe 3 weeks at most with her family each year. In the next 8 years, she kept studying, working hard on her education, and after she turned 18, she shifted her academic focus on the sciences and continued studying away from home. She remembers that one day she was studying for her exams, and she had to leave really abruptly. She recalls that she just vanished. With her mother's support, she was able to get a visa that allowed her to fly out to Turkey, and from there to Los Angeles, and finally to Detroit. By the time that she was on the flight to Detroit, it was many days before she was able to get food, to get water, and so she was really weak, she was really tired, and she thinks back to when she was walking to her seat on the plane and could barely make it there on her own. The flight attendant was kind enough to provide her with nourishment and support until she safely arrived in our city, where she was met with a man who was a friend of her mother's and also happens to be a former resident of Freedom House Detroit, who provided her with housing and access to all of her basic needs for as long as he possibly could. She did feel like a burden for this family. They didn't have a lot of resources, and so she decided to look into other options that maybe were more sustainable to let her stay in the U.S. When she looked into them, she found Freedom House Detroit and was really glad to find that we had a bed available for her. She was scared of moving into somewhere that she didn't know anyone, she didn't know the environment, but when she got here, she was faced with African music and people dancing and just an overall sense of community. This sense of community really swept away those fears really quickly. She said that she was proud to find a family of people who were just like her, and since then, she's moved beyond our walls and is seeking a medical degree.
Oh man, that's awesome.
Yeah.
I know for many, a story like that would kind of be a very awakening. Like, oh, this is happening to people my age, you know? Mm-hmm. And so I appreciate any chance we get a chance to see life through the eyes of someone else who may be experiencing those things. And what I'm also hearing is the community can gather around someone, and at some point, the burden could be shared also beyond individuals and through agencies like your own, as well as other partner groups that you work with, and that in that we can kind of get to some of those success places.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, we do as much as we can to support these individuals. Transitioning to life in the U.S. is really difficult, even just thinking about how different the cultures are. I mean, a huge part of what we work on is job training, is getting them used to medical care in the U.S. It looks really different here than a lot of places in the world, and so we're really proud to help them make that transition and help them on their long journey.
Awesome. So Motor City Wesley is a community of students at Wayne State and beyond, kind of a multi-campus movement of students of faith and no faith who just have a real passion for making sure that in the world there is creativity, that there is community, and that there is conspiracies of goodness, helping us all to kind of work actively to make the world a better place. One of the ways that we do that is we do $100 mini grants, and so we hand people $100 and we say, what good could you do with you and your friends on a topic of your choice to make the world a little bit better place? Show us what you can do, and let's tell the world about it, and maybe we start some mobilizing some movements. Part of that process is making sure that we introduce students to really good partners. And so if we were introducing students or others who want to support freedomhouse.org and their own conspiracies of goodness, Freedom House Detroit, where do they find you? What kind of campaigns and work and volunteering and the things that people can do, the ways that people can give, how can they support you?
I mean, you already shared a huge way to connect with us, which is freedomhousedetroit.org. On our website, you can learn more about our work, see some of the statistics of our work, and find so many ways to engage with us. You can make a donation, apply for a job opportunity, or learn about ways to engage, like volunteering and adopting a party. I also recommend reaching out to our main line if you want to learn more about our work, or if you have any questions after you listen to this. You can call us at 313-964-4320, and I will personally love to tell you more about what we do at Freedom House. Another way that you can make a really huge difference is by following us on social media platforms and sharing our work with your friends and family. That makes a huge impact, expanding our network, expanding the awareness of what we do in Detroit, and helping us connect with people who are in need of our services. You can find us on all social media platforms. We're at Freedom House Detroit on Facebook, Instagram, and LinkedIn, and at Freedom House DET on Twitter. And there we announce any ways for you to get involved with us, to make a difference, and to engage with our population.
Julia, thank you so much for sharing. But we never let anybody go unless we ask them one challenging question. I'm going to invite our friends from the KC Duo to make their way up. They're going to play us out after we're done. But if you had $100, Julia Gibbons, how would you use it to make the world a better place?
Does that count like donating, or was it?
Yeah, absolutely.
Well, I am biased, but I would definitely donate it to Freedom House Detroit. I mean, I see the work that they do firsthand. I meet our clients firsthand, and I see how far $100 can go in their lives. I mean, providing them with toothpaste, soaps, food, it's a big difference for these over 50 people each year.
I love it. freedomhousedetroit.org and all of those socials.
Yes.
We encourage everybody to give, to always be thinking about how you can launch your own conspiracy of goodness with amazing partners, and to keep an eye and an ear and a heart open for those experiencing displacement in the world. For lots of reasons, we can be part of their network of support, and we'll follow your lead. Thanks, Julia.
Thank you so much for having me.
Take us home, guys.